Just everything you talked about, they lived up to a scouting report like few teams really do.
They were as advertised. I mean, they're good. And, I felt like we came out early and played well. Didn't take advantage of some opportunities early where I felt like we could have got a bigger lead. But, super proud of these guys for accomplishing what they've accomplished. And, hats off to Valwood. I mean, they played a heck of a ball game.
Obviously, that's when did you see what it was going to be like? Because you really aren't able to get those things going pretty early.
Pretty early. I mean, they did a good job stopping our run, and we had to kind of make some adjustments. We felt great on our first defensive series, and then they started finding some creases and some holes, and when them guys, we knew if they ever gotten open, it was going to be trouble, and they can roll.
What were they doing to get some of those holes so big right at the line of scrimmage for the big plays? Because those are killers.
It was a typical zone where they just ride, and then all of a sudden that quarterback pulls it out of the bag. And it's tough. I mean, we hadn't seen a whole lot of that team speed as far as from multiple guys this year. So I mean, it was tough.
On the other hand, their defense just swarmed you.
They did. They were fast. I mean,
your plays, you couldn't get your normal plays that work all the time.
No, I mean they were playing off the ball a little more and then coming up in a hurry. And we knew we had some shots, but we got to take advantage of them, and we got to do a better job of getting these guys in a better position.
Was there a little composure issue at times? Because y'all had a lot of penalties.
Well, I mean, we had a lot of penalties. I think first quarter it was clean pretty much for us, and then we started having some penalties. So I mean, I think the guys handled themselves well to be in a situation they've never been in, like this. So super proud of the way they kept fighting.
How often do you have to talk to them to tell them to keep their composure? We've not been in this place before, but we know how to win.
I mean, it's tough because you always want them to play with emotion, and you want them to play with emotion and be able to turn it off and turn it on, and sometimes that's really, really hard to do. So, once again, just proud of how they play.
Did it seem almost like Valwood ended up getting everything that people wanted to get against y'all for the last X number of years? Because they just kept getting everything. Yeah, they were looking like you. Valwood did to you what you've done to people for 5 years.
It snowballed for them, and they kept riding it out. And we were trying to stop the bleeding, but we ran out of Band-Aids.
And you were talking about depth. Did you feel like you were wearing down pretty much in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean we felt like that. It definitely played a role. Once it was fourth quarter, and those guys, we got guys running 60, 70-yard routes and having to run back and do it again and do it again and do it again, and then turn around and play defense and play special teams. So. But our guys are trained that way, so we felt like that wasn't going to be a huge issue, but it definitely played a part.
What's the feeling? 6-2 game winning streak gone, state championship winning streak gone. What's the feeling right now?
It's kind of a numb feeling right now. You know it's going to end eventually. So it's just time to start a new one. But I mean, you use it as motivation. And try to get locked in. I mean, and that's what some people never understand is every year when we walk off this field, win or lose, we're thinking about next year already. So you start kind of looking at these young guys, hoping they fall in love with the weight room a whole lot more and grow up and get bigger, faster, and stronger.
Was there anything that surprised you? Either something that y'all didn't do, all of a sudden you didn't do as well as you normally do, or something they did a little bit better?
I'll have to look at the tape. I mean, it was all, it was what it was.
Just they made the plays that you always made, and you didn't always make the plays that you always made.
And we still made some plays, some good plays, but they made more plays than we made. So.
Were they, I won't say better than you expected, but did they play better?
They played really well.
That's as good as anybody's played.
Yeah. They played really well for 3 quarters.
And the final 3.
Yeah.
Because the first quarter was y'all were up 13-0.
First quarter, we felt like we played pretty good, and then they started hitting on all cylinders like we've seen them on film do. So.
Now, what do you say to the kids? How do you get them to move on just for the bus ride?
Well, I mean, if it don't hurt a little bit, something's wrong. And a lot of these kids don't feel this much. In any sport, they don't lose much. So you want them to learn from it. And sometimes you can learn more from a loss than you can a win, but you don't want to. I was always told, you sometimes you learn more from a loss than a win. But I said, man, I don't want to learn a whole lot then. So, you know, we'll move on and get ready for next year.
Was this by far the best anybody's played against y'all? And even if you'd come back and won?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
they played a solid game. So.
It really wasn't. You want to say that it wasn't close in the score, but the way they pulled away.
Oh yeah,
was what you don't expect.
Yeah,
to happen.
Did. You know, they play well. So.